Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing good and having a good day. Today is, something's on my phone. Today is, what is today? July 14th, and it's a Friday. I'm on my way to work. I wanted to get up on here because, man, a lot has been going on. A lot has changed in my life, and it's been on my heart to share a story. And it's basically, it's about how, no, all this week I've been thinking about it. Now today I can't think of it. How the devil can be. Recognizing the schemes of the enemy, I guess. I don't know if that's what I was saying. Recognizing the schemes of the enemy. What are you doing? You about to wash your windows?
I'm about to wipe it off.
Here you go. When you gonna clean my car?
You want to clean?
Okay. This weekend? Tomorrow?
Yeah, do it today, tomorrow, no matter.
Tomorrow's better. Well, actually, it don't matter. Okay. Because I'm gonna take it to the car wash. The car wash.
Okay.
So you gonna do it like, okay. All right, see you later. So, as soon as I get on the road, I'm gonna tell you guys. But other than that, I hope you guys are blessed and that everyone is prosperous and doing well. Okay, so I don't even know where to start. God has been doing so much in my life. I've been growing so much more spiritually, and a lot of things have just been being revealed, not just to me, but to my husband. We haven't done his deliverance video yet, but we will. We haven't gotten around to doing it. We just celebrated our 14th wedding anniversary last week. July 7th was our 14th wedding anniversary, and so we celebrated that, and it was pretty nice. But we didn't do anything major. I look so big on this camera, it's crazy. But so all the way back in April, I was on the hunt for a new car because I like my car, but I have 3 children, and when we go on the road and stuff, this car is really like stuffy. It's really crowded, and so my husband, he used to have a Tahoe. And so that was awesome. And let me tell y'all about the Tahoe. He bought it used, and he had it for about 4 or 5 years. I can't remember. He was getting down to, he got down to the last payment. And it died. I think it was the transmission stopped working. Like, I mean, it was crazy. And it's crazy because I felt like I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, what if you get down to your last payment, or when you pay it off and then the car stopped working? Boom, that's exactly what happened. And this happened back in, was it March? No, January. So February, he was able to get a new car, but he got a Mitsubishi Outlander. It has a 3rd row, but the 3rd row is super tiny. No one can fit back there. I absolutely hate the car. It's not the 2023 Mitsubishi, it's a 2019 Mitsubishi. And I absolutely did not want that car. I told him, let's go to a different dealership, see what his other options were. But my husband he's a risk taker to an extent. And he was like, no, we might as well just get this car, blah, blah, blah. He was not happy with the car. Nobody was. And the kids still didn't fit. So we were still crowded. So I said in April, I went to Chevy dealership and I said, I'm gonna get, I want to look at a Traverse. And so I'm looking at the Traverse, and so my husband's car is in my name. I'm the owner, he's co-owner. My car is in my name. So I couldn't trade my car in because when I bought my car, that's when car prices were like absolutely way too high. And so it was a lot of inflation. So I am I have negative equity, too much negative equity to roll over to a new vehicle. So I couldn't trade my car in. So at the time, come on, people. So at the time, there wasn't a need for a third vehicle. And so the dude was like, I can get you in this Traverse. Your payments would be like what you pay now. And interest rate was really good. So I was like, man, because I couldn't trade my car in. So I'm like, okay, I'll just wait a couple months or whatever. Or I'll just, keep this car. I don't know. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my car. So, but my daughter has been wanting a car. She wants my car, but I keep telling her she will have the car that she wants. Well, she ain't going to have the car she wants because she wants like a Charger or I'm like, girl, you only 16. You do not need a car like that. You're only 16 years old. But anyway, so long story short, I really like the 2023 Kia Sorrentos. So I went to a Kia dealership to just look at a Sorrento, see if I qualify, whatever. It was horrible from the time I got there to the time I left. I actually reported them to the Better Business Bureau. It was horrible. So when I first got there, I waited around for about 2 hours before anybody helped me. And this is after being in contact with one of the salespeople that were there. He was texting me that morning and emailing me. So I stopped by the dealership. Get to the dealership, literally wait around. They were busy that day, I'm not gonna lie. Wait around for about 2 hours. Then somebody else finally helped me. And this dude, I'm not gonna say no names, I'm not gonna mention no names. He was all nice and stuff in the beginning. Told him the vehicle that I was interested in looking at. One thing about car dealerships I'm learning is that they will tell you, they won't give you all the options, number one. They'll give you what they think that is closest to what you want, and then basically you gotta beg, please, scream, and throw a fit for them to show you something else because they're really trying to move certain cars off the lot. So anyway, so about, I don't know how long, I was there a total about 4 hours. So I'm gonna say probably about 2.5 hours in. Yeah, about 2.5 hours in. He came and told me, we can't get you qualified for the Sorrento or whatever. But no, he came out, he said, we're working really hard, blase, blase. So I'm like, okay, because this was taking absolutely forever. Then he said, we got you qualified for a vehicle. I'm thinking it was the Sorrento, right? He was like, I couldn't get you the Sorrento, but I can get you a 2019 Nissan Armada. And I already knew I did not want that vehicle. I wasn't even interested in looking at that vehicle, but I went ahead and checked it out, and I test drove it. It was not for me. And I told him, I said, I don't like this vehicle. I was like, this is not for me. And he was like, what's wrong with it? I was like, it's too big. It's too big. It's too bulky. I felt like I'm driving a bus. I didn't want it. So I showed it to my husband because I know my husband likes big vehicles because he went from a Tahoe to that little Mitsubishi, and he was, So I showed it to my husband to see if he was interested in it. And so he came down to the dealership and he test drove it and he looked at it. He was like, yeah, I like it or whatever. So we were gonna go ahead and go forward with it. And then our salesperson brings out the paperwork. Now this is what made me mad. Don't be waiting until we say we want to get something to show me what I'm gonna be paying and what the interest rate are. Don't do that. Bring that stuff out now. First of all, don't try to qualify me for another vehicle without asking me, am I interested in another vehicle? Because just because you find a vehicle that might be similar and like have the things that I want, don't mean that I want that vehicle. We were not desperate for a car. I honestly did not need a car. So anyway, my husband came up, he looked at it, he test drove it. He was like, yeah, I like it, whatever. It was kind of bulky. I don't think we was really sold on it, neither of us. But so he brings out the paperwork. My husband's like, what's that? And so I'm like, that better not be the payments. So call dude out. He came out and I was like, what's this? I was like, is that the monthly payments? He was like, yeah. I said, I don't think so. Mind you guys, this was a 2019 Nissan Armada, 90,000 miles on it, and 2019, 90,000 miles. Whoever had it prior, it seemed like they smoked or something. There was a smell in there, and it just wasn't what we wanted. And I was like, I don't think so. The payment, he was trying to get us to pay $883 a month for this vehicle. I said, you are out of your everlasting mind. You have to be, I'm not paying that for no car or whatever. And he was like, and then they want a down payment. of $1,000, and I told him I didn't want to make a down payment. I was trying to get a car without a down payment. He was like, well, you have to put a down payment of $1,000. I was like, no. I was trying to get a car without a down payment. I was like, I don't care. I was like, I'm not signing no papers. I don't want the car. His demeanor completely changed. It was like the devil jumped right into him. He was like, because first he was like, my husband was like, well, I can give you that $1,000 because he was interested in getting it. He was like, but I was against it. He was like, I can give you $1,000 on a such and such date. And he was like, you can't get $1,000 before that date and this and all that. Like, come up with it sooner than that. And blase, and we looking at each other like, what the heck is wrong with this dude? And then I was telling him, I was like, well, Chevy offered me this, and that, or whatever. And he was like, no. He was like, my cousin is a Chevy dealership. My cousin is a manager at Cochran, and there's no way they're going for that, and blase, and just shut us down. And then shut me down. I bought a car from there a year ago, almost a year and a half ago. My car that I'm driving right now, I bought from that, the same dealership. Was even shooting me down, talking about my vehicle. I was like, you do know that I bought this from here, right? Like, this came from y'all dealership. This came from y'all dealership. He was just pushy. He was ignorant. And we do have a nice amount of income. Just because you have a decent income don't mean you want to spend all your money on a car. Mind you, we making a car payment for my car. We making a car payment for the Mitsubishi. This would have been the third car payment. Why do we don't want that, right? And we definitely ain't paying that much for no car. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm leaving. I ain't getting no car from here. I ain't never coming back here again. We were treated horribly. The customer service was trash. And then he tried to force us to get a vehicle that we did not want. So I complained to his manager. And then I complained to the Better Business Bureau because this guy, when I went back to the Chevy dealership and they were getting me qualified for a vehicle, this guy did 16 hard inquiries. He ran my credit with 16 different banks. That is excessive. And what Chevy told me when I went to the Chevy dealership is that salespeople do this on purpose so that you can't get a car from anywhere else. So if you won't buy a car from them, they do it so that you won't be qualified anywhere else. And she was like, he's ignorant and he knows better than that and he shouldn't have did that to you, and he basically, this is why the banks are turning you down, because you have too many hard inquiries. But look at God. So we were there, and then she was like, I have a bank that I work with and I can't get in touch with the girl today, but I can get in touch with her tomorrow or whatever, and I'll let you know tomorrow if we have a vehicle for you. So tomorrow, the day gets there, and we going all day. And my husband's like, well, they have an Impala. No, not the Impala. What was we looking at first? Okay, it was a Buick Enclave. And he said, yeah, we can get that. He said, but she said the payments are going to be such and such. And I'm like, well, we can do it. I mean, if you really want it. I was like, it'll be your car, so whatever you want, because the car's for my husband. And so I'm like, it can be whatever you want to do or whatever. And to me, the Buick Enclave is a bit feminine, and it's like me, like something that I would drive. And so my husband told me, he was like, well, if we get it, you can drive it or whatever. And then, so I already knew that he didn't like it for himself. So I'm like, okay. So we wasn't sure about getting that. Then they called and told us, well, we can get you 2023 Malibu or whatever, 22, whatever year it was, Malibu or whatever. And we were like, okay, we'll come check it out. And when I get off work, when my husband get off work. So we get up there, and the one that we wanted sold, somebody bought it. And actually the girl who bought it worked at the facility that I work at. I seen her there. And so we're like, okay. So he shows us the other one, and it was a trade-in, and it was filthy. It had dog hair all over. I mean, it was just filthy. And I got in that car. I said no, because he showed it to us, like, you want to see it before we clean it? I was like, okay. We didn't know it was going to be that dirty. Got in, got right back out. I was like, no, that car is filthy. I can't get it. I don't want to sit in it, blah, blah, blah. So they're like, what cars are you interested in? And blah, blah, blah. And we know we didn't want no little Equinox. And then we was like, well, we'll just get to go with the Enclave or whatever. So we was just going to go with the Enclave and call it a day. And then she was like, I might be able to get you a Traverse. So we like, a Traverse? We like, cool, because that's what I always wanted from the beginning. And so we go. She works out with the bank. We got approved for the Traverse. We got a Traverse. The dude from Kia sent me an email talking about, oh, thank you for doing business with us. And then sent me specs of that ugly Nissan Armada that we didn't want. And so I sent him an email back saying, no, thank you. We are very happy with the purchase that we made. And I sent him pictures of me and my husband standing next to our Chevy Traverse that he said that we would not be able to get. That he said we could not get. And this is crazy because I went down to Kia looking for a car that I thought I was interested in. And it turned into a whole zoo. Had we accepted that Armada, we would have been disappointed. Because for one, neither one of us wanted the vehicle. And then on top of that, we would have accepted the counterfeit. We would have accepted the vehicle that the devil was offering us and missed out on what God had for us. God already had a plan. God already knew that he was going to give us that car. And it's like I had to go through the process. And when I went through that process, it was like God was showing me, this is for me. This is how you know it's for me. They completely destroyed your credit to where no banks would pick you up. And I made this happen for you, and I got you the car that you wanted. And that's how the enemy is. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's not even the enemy. Sometimes it's God that he allows us to do certain things so that we'll know that when we get the blessing, that the blessing came from him. That it didn't come from me. It didn't come from my husband. It didn't come from anybody but him. And God is good and he's amazing. And it's like I was praying and praying and praying. And I'm like, man, I'm tired of this little car. And my husband, I don't like that Nissan, Mitsubishi. And like my daughter is about to start driving and she don't like the Mitsubishi. She wants my car. And I'm like, I really don't want to be, I'm like, I really don't want that Mitsubishi or whatever. But I mean, it all worked out in the end. We got the car that we really want. The whole family likes it. We went on a little drive the day that we got it, and the kids love it. And that's what's important. We feel like we made a very good purchase, and it just shows you the glory of God and how good he is, and all glory goes to him. So no matter what you're going through, if you've been praying for something, if you've been waiting on God for something, just be patient. Just be patient. Just wait for him. Let him give it to you in his own time, in his own way. Sometimes you have to go through something to where it looks like you're losing something so that you can gain something. And that's exactly what our situation is. And I told my husband, I said, sometimes you got to lose something to gain something. So that's basically how that is, because he was worried he didn't want my credit to be messed up. But I said that credit can be within a year from now, that my credit will be looking just fine. So don't worry about it. They didn't hurt it too bad to where it's horrible. So it's not nothing that can be built back up. But God is above credit. God is above money. God is above everything. And so we just been going through a lot. My husband drawn closer to God. And that's another thing I have to I have to chill with, because like I don't really see like my husband like praying or in intimate moments with God. And he always tell me I pray and I talk to God in my own time. I talk to him when I'm alone. And I'm thinking, well, like, we married, so we should pray together, you know. But I understand this is all new to him, and he's not where I am, and he's gonna do what he's comfortable doing. And it's silly of me to assume that he doesn't have a relationship with God, or that he's not close to God, just because I don't see him praying and stuff. Because it's obvious that he does, because God has been speaking to him and giving him order, giving him divine direction, helping him to make decisions. So I can't doubt that. And so he's doing good. We're coming along, we're moving along, and everything is going pretty good. I pray that everyone has a good day today, and that no matter what you're going through, just trust and know that God has already done it. Whatever you're waiting on, you already have it. You just got to have faith, just have belief, just keep claiming it, just keep speaking life into it, that God has already done it. Shalom.